Hello everyone, I'm Kayla Johnson, and today I'm going to be discussing the Universal Design for Learning, which can also be called UDL. First we're going to start with the introduction, then we're going to go into the in-depth meanings with the principles of UDL, and then we're going to see some examples in the real world and at schools. So to start with the introduction, here is a picture of a very universally designed classroom. Has seating for all sizes, shapes, and abilities. So practical uses of the UDL. The design of items, locations, or materials to satisfy the needs of the greatest amount of the population possible. Universally designed items are made to eliminate the need for adaptation and change. This helps those in minority groups, but they're also designed to implement to anywhere, at home, at school, just to make real life tasks a lot easier to come by. Then we're going to go into the in-depth meanings. So for our requirements, for the universal design would be everything needs to be usable, inclusive, and accessible. So with the engagement, this is more so recruiting the student ideas, valuing student desires, being persistent, and being able to self-regulate. So with this, you should be limiting in-class distractions. Too much color or overcrowding of materials, seating arrangement, posters, all of that can be overwhelming. And minimizing it will just increase engagement of students. Valuing their desires, allowing the students to have choices, and being very inclusive of different authentic games and activities. With persistence, we need to give the students lots of feedback, positive, and also with the constructive criticism. Then we will need to be mixing group and independent work. With self-regulation, explaining and training coping skills is really good. Self-reflections, creating a warm and welcoming environment will also help. For action and expression in the classroom, there should be physical actions, expression, and communication, as well as executive functioning. For that, I would say options for responses, work, projects, all type of different assessments. Increase access to materials that can be lots of assistive technology. For deaf students, making sure that there is Braille readings and projects and all of that, the notes made in Braille for the students. And even like saying we have a student that's has visual impairment, make the slideshow bigger, print out the slideshow so it's right in front of them so they don't need to keep looking up and trying to focus on the words. The executive functioning, support planning, include strategy development with students and try to make them understand processes doing different things, and definitely just manage the information and the resources, make sure that everything's nicely organized and easy to access for all students. Also use multiple medias for construction. As you can see on the images on the side here, there's painting and construction paper art. There's also many other types of expression and action to be done with art. Next, we can move on to our representation, and for that, there's comprehension, there's language and symbols, and perception. For the comprehension, it's really highlighting the concepts more profoundly instead of just hitting on it and moving on right away to the next thing. Focus on it, question it, and use it and relate back to it throughout the school year. Apply the background knowledge of the students, because Like I just had said, it keeps all the information keeping going in your brain and stays with you and sticks with you. Guide our students through the information both verbally and visually for students who either learn better verbally or learn better visually, because you will have a big mix of both of those in any type of classroom. For language and symbols, make sure you clarify students' vocabulary, their grammar, and their syntax, aka like phonics, and all of that is very important to just reiterate with students so that they can continue on with knowing the right way. Supporting students' new word definition and symbol growth is very good. It helps them be able to represent things and see and understand things in the world. And with perception, offer students many different ways of getting information or displaying their information. As you can see in this photo, there's computers, tablets, books, magazines. There's even peers talking to one another is another way of getting information. For examples in the real world, there's this little chart here. If you do want to pause, you can take a moment and read that over. Go ahead. Real world. So the inclusion of Braille lettering on elevators, signs, and many other things allow the blind community to be more independent. There are also ramps alongside most public stairways to keep a steady flow of traffic, even for those with physical disabilities. That is also why elevators are also very important, especially in school buildings with multiple floors. And this is, on the left here is a picture of an elevator keypad with the Braille numbering and symboling underneath. So I don't know exactly how to describe the Braille, but if you want to know more about that, I know Kutztown offers a class just for that. In schools, there are many ways to show work to a teacher or even your class, and to understand students have differences in their abilities to do these certain things. So including multiple means of showing, submitting, or even completing assessments can make them come more easily to students, while also heightening their enjoyment of said task. So in this photograph, there's many different medias that students can use to go about doing any type of project, assignment, or assessment, which would be interactive reading, ebooks, podcasts, 5-photo story, or like a comic strip, visual note taking, narrated art, narrated slideshow, screencasted, puppet show, puppet video, quick edit video, geomap, a simulation or a game creation, or digital story are just a few of the different ways. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Here are two different pictures showing like the accessibility and universally designed objects in the world. Starting with the top one is the student classroom. The desks that the students have in their classroom are accessible for those students in wheelchairs, as you can see, but they're also accessible for those students able to work in regular seating chairs. And then in the second image on the bottom there, you can see two females washing their hands in a public restroom where the countertop is wavy, so it gives an area for those who can stand to wash their hands, a little bit of a higher area, and even those who are wheelchair accessible, to give them the proper height to wash up. And then this is going to be a quote from Katie Novak. She says that universal design isn't about erasing differences to make one-size-fits-all lessons and assessment, but it's about recognizing the barriers, naming them, highlighting them, celebrating them, and designing for them. And I think that is very important. It really hits the nail on the head. And then here are my credits. I use Slide Carnival, Google, and these three websites actually. Thank you.